Hello there, Mandy here. Restorative Grief with Mandy Capehart is not just a podcast. It's also a book, a free online grief group, and a one-on-one private coaching practice. If you are interested in learning more, visit mandykapehart.com to find out how restorative grief can help you heal heart, mind, body, and spirit. Welcome back to Restorative Grief with Mandy Capehart. You are listening to episode 232, titled Online Grief Support: How to Find Help You Can Trust. Grief is strange, isn't it? Heavy, confusing. Sometimes it hits us when we least expect it. And reaching out for help, well, that can feel even scarier. So let's talk today about some of the common concerns I've heard about finding help online and what we can do about them, because darn it, you deserve support that means something to you. If you've ever thought, I can't do this online counseling thing, I'm not ready, I don't even know if it's worth it, I want you to know you're not alone. Those fears are meaningful, and they're not something to just brush aside. They're clues about what grief is asking of you. So let's name a few of the common fears I hear about grief support and talk through what we can control around them, because we aren't helpless. And there is something we can learn about how we advocate for ourselves as grievers too. So cost, of course, is one of the first fears people mention, and I get it. If a grief counselor doesn't take your insurance, your mind might start racing. Well, am I spending too much? What is the cost of this overall? Do we even have the budget? Am I worth this cost? And what if it doesn't work? These questions are real, and they're tied to more than money. They touch on access, privilege, and the way culture teaches us to bear our burdens alone. So here's something important you can ask. Sliding scale options exist more often than we realize, but they usually require courage to ask for them. Asking is part of your grief work. And even when we do pay out of pocket, there's something quite liberating about it. It's a statement. It's claiming and reclaiming your value, saying my grief work matters, my healing matters, and I am worth investing in for wholeness. And beyond the personal, there's also a communal aspect here. Grief is not meant to be carried alone. And so when we invest in support, we're also participating in a broader network of care. We're resisting the hyper-independence that may have contributed to our suffering in the first place. Building rapport is another big worry I hear. Will I click with the person? Will they understand me? Will I feel safe? And yes, that fear is real. Trust is at the heart of grief work. But it's okay if the first few sessions aren't a perfect fit. That's not failure. That's alignment. That's attunement in action. You can even name the discomfort with your provider. I'm not sure how I feel about this just yet. And watch how they respond. That in itself is a lesson in connection. Your counselor is going to work on building rapport with you in a way that is ethically sound and connective and open, not forceful. And so this process is about learning how to get to know others, how you trust, and how you let yourself be seen, and also how you choose to step away if the rapport doesn't feel authentic. Another aspect of grief counseling and support online is whether or not we understand what we really need right now. Do you need therapy, or could grief coaching be more helpful at this moment? Might you do both? These fears come from the pressure to do it right, to fix your grief perfectly or quickly, but sweet friend, grief is not something you fix. It's something you live through with support that meets you where you are. Grief coaching can guide you through day-to-day life, help you structure your grief experience, and find grounding in practical ways. Many people, my clients included, combine coaching and therapy. Therapy to process emotions deeply, and coaching to gain clarity, agency, and actionable steps. The point is to meet yourself exactly where you are and learn about your needs along the way. Becoming too vulnerable is a huge fear of people who are grieving. Opening up about grief can feel terrifying. What if I fall apart? What if they think I'm weak? These fears are not flaws. They're signals. They point to where you need safety, attention, and trust. Grief coaching offers a space where vulnerability is not only allowed, it's welcomed, required even. And when you practice it, when you test the water safely, you learn something profound. You can hold your feelings and share them. You can live fully with your grief instead of letting it overtake you. I know a lot of people worry that online care isn't the same as in-person support, and that's very true in some ways. You may miss subtle body language cues, the physical presence, or the ritual of leaving your home to enter an office. But for many people, online support is the only option available. In care deserts or in areas where access is limited by geography or finances, online grief counseling can provide life-changing support. It brings licensed professionals, structured grief coaching, and peer support into homes that otherwise would have no access. So for people balancing work, caregiving, mobility challenges, or financial constraints, online support offers flexibility without sacrificing professional guidance. It's not perfect, and it's real. It's practical. And for many, it's the difference between feeling alone in grief or feeling seen, held, and supported. And of course, there are many other fears I haven't named here. Some who worry there'll be too much or not enough for a counselor, others fearing that the sessions won't help or thinking they're unready, thinking that starting counseling means they have to fix everything right away. Some people fear judgment or that their vulnerability might be used against them. All of these fears are reflections of our deeper needs: to be seen, to be held, and to feel that we are moving forward on our own terms, autonomy, independence. Grief counseling doesn't erase these fears, it gives them a home. It allows you to explore them, to question them, and to notice how they interact with your life and your losses. Over time, those fears can shift from obstacles into guides. So here's the heart of it all. These fears are not barriers, they are part of the process. Grief counseling and support, whether online or in person, doesn't remove your fear. It teaches you how to sit with it, to move through it, and to notice how it transforms you. When you face these fears, you're not just surviving grief, you are integrating it. You are creating a richer, more nuanced, more embodied version of yourself. So even just thinking about reaching out online, that's already part of the work. Fear does not disappear when we attend to our grief. It becomes our guide, showing us what we need and how we need attention, compassion, and care. And in that, there is profound growth waiting for you. So if you feel scared, if you feel unsure, that's exactly the place to start. Lean into it. Let yourself be seen. Let yourself be guided, and step by step, you will find your way through. Thank you for listening to episode 232 of Restorative Grief. Remember, fear is part of the journey, not a barrier. Lean into it, seek support, and allow your grief to guide you toward connection, understanding, and a more embodied life. If this is your first time listening to Restorative Grief with Mandy Capehart, I am so very, very glad you found your way here. Thank you, as always, to the past and present patrons of the show who support the Restorative Grief community by keeping these episodes alive. Check out the show notes if you're interested in learning more about becoming a patron of the work for as little as $2 a month. Be sure to subscribe and, of course, leave a review so this podcast can be found by other people who are grieving. And as always, before we go, one last thing. Please remember, the only solution for grief is to do the work of grieving. Thank you for listening. I'll see you next week.